Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome. You are on the mountain with Rick and Ben, and it is time for World Building Wednesdays. But first, coffee. Mm. How you doing up there in the mountain cold, my friend?
Actually, all right. It has been pretty cold at nights, but um, haven't had much snow this year, which I'm happy about since I have to drive in it.
Yeah, I mean, for driving, that's a good thing, but for droughting, that's definitely not a good thing.
Oh, please. We Colorado Cortez has been in a air quotes drought for the past 20 years.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time,
They're
like
they're,
when you look
they're
at
never going.
McPhee, you can tell. Like,
Last year, McPhee was actually in a really good position after winter last year, and they still said we're still in a drought. The water helps, but we need more. We're still in a drought. Give us money. Government, give us money. We're still in a drought.
well,
And
maybe you
because they're
should
getting
just
money from the
stop selling
government,
all the
they're
fucking water to California. There you go.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's not a decision made by uh, our county. That's a decision made by Denver, who doesn't give two shits about this corner of of the state. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. That's
like a couple years back, actually, I would say like 8 years back. I remember there was an article that I heard my parents were talking about. They weren't arguing, but they were talking about how stupid it is of Denver wanting to install a pipeline to pull water from this side of the mountains, like our neck of the woods, back over to Denver,
oh wow. Yeah, that's
saying we didn't need it. It failed obviously because that's stupid. But yeah, that's how much Denver gives a shit about this part of the state.
yeah, fucking stupid shit right there. I wish I could say I was truly surprised, but I am truly
I would
disgusted.
I would have a guess that there are places in Florida where it's basically the same thing. You
Um,
there? Oh,
I
yeah, you are.
mean, I'm sure that there are things that are like that, but not with water.
Oh no, I mean you don't have any. Florida doesn't have problems with water.
No, definitely not. If we have a problem with water, it's of the too fucking much variety.
Yeah, I was messing around with the um. Okay, my phone's good. I was messing around with the flood map,
Okay.
and yeah, Florida's kind of screwed if the ice caps fully melt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even if you're not looking at beachfront property in Arizona, you're definitely looking at it in Alabama.
Well, if the ice caps fully melt, that's 70-meter raise, which is like 300 feet, like 260, like 260-foot raise.
Yeah, something like that. I know a meter is roughly equal to a yard, so.
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, they're close. Um. Anyways, yeah, Florida's basically gone on this map.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit of stuff by Tallahassee, and there's a little bit of stuff by Pensacola, and it's just like small islands and ridges that are above water, and apparently someplace near Stark. What the hell is Stark?
Oh, that's where Tony's from.
Stark,
I
Gainesville.
Okay, I know Gainesville. I don't know Stark.
Okay, it's between Gainesville and
Okay.
I guess there's a decent-sized hill right there that would be above water.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that any of Florida, aside from maybe like up in the Panhandle, I'm kind of surprised that any of Florida would actually still be around 70 meters higher.
There are actually a couple of hills just west of Orlando, but they're exactly that. They're hills. The one over by Stark is the biggest. Like there's one near Bartow. Between Bartow and Lakeland.
Okay.
And like zooming in on this, see that's a block. That's a block. So it's maybe seven blocks, 7 city blocks.
Yeah, tiny.
Yeah, they're hills. Wonder if there's one near your place. If everything floods, you have a place to go. As soon as I remember where your place actually is.
DeBerry. It's in between Orlando and Daytona. It's right along I-4. You'll see the St. Johns River. I'm very close to that. So, yeah, I'm pretty much fucked if major flooding comes in.
You said along I-4?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's zoom out. Where's Orlando? There's Orlando. There's Sanford, where you used to live. There's DeBerry. Alright, where's the nearest
I mean, that bridge where I-4 goes over the St. Johns River, probably substantially higher in elevation than anything else within a few miles of here.
So, unfortunately, there's a set of hills over just before you hit Claremont.
Okay, yeah, Claremont's a little ways away.
Yeah, that's honestly the closest. There's a couple of hills there. South Lake Hospital is on one of the hills. So hey, at least you'll have medical care while waiting for the boats to rescue you.
Yeah, I think in all honesty, if shit hit the fan, my solution would not be find higher ground. It would be find something that floats.
Yeah, I mean this water level map thing, the waters wouldn't rise. Would rise fast enough that you could just mass exodus out of there.
Oh, I don't know about that. Have you met people?
Oh yeah, there would be a lot of people who are like, I ain't leaving for anything.
Oh no, I mean the ones that are leaving, they're gonna be fucking panicking.
True. But hey, you know the good news? Arizona actually would have a beach, even at that elevation. It wouldn't be much of one.
But I want to go to Tahoe.
Let's see, where is Lake Tahoe on this? Yeah, the Colorado River. The water would start flooding up the Colorado River, and it would flood the town of Yuma in Arizona. And so, that town would basically be Arizona's new beach.
Okay.
9-hour drive from here.
and probably still not worth it.
Eh, people take the drive to go to Las Vegas for some strange ass reason. I totally see it being like a couple day trip.
Okay, yeah, if you're going for a couple days, yeah, but like for a day trip, like it's another one of those things. Like when I was up in Colorado, if you'd asked me how I felt about the beach, I'd be like, "Bah, fuck it, it's a waste of time." But after moving back down here and going out there with Rebecca, and there's a beach condo and her family and whatnot, like when you wake up on the beach, oh my god, is it a different experience. Like in high school, it was like, okay, well, yeah, we can drive for fucking 2 hours to go to the beach, and we're there for like an hour or two, and then we gotta drive back. Like that's fucking, it's jank. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, like the first time that we got out there mid-afternoon, went on the beach, fucking laid out in the sun, got a good tan, got a good swim, got fucking exhausted, had a great day, went and ate dinner at a restaurant on the beach, then like went and walked and enjoyed the sunlight in the sand, and then danced the night away to the fucking rising moon, and the sounds of the ocean, and then went to bed and listening to the sounds of the ocean, and then woke up to the sounds of the ocean and the birds, and went out on the porch, smoked, and then went down and like started out the morning with salt water. This fucking life-changing shit right there. Like I never appreciated the beach as a kid.
So give me an elevation.
10,000
Any
feet.
number. 10,000? Yeah, that's basically the whole world. Oh, 10,000 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What is that in meters?
It would be roughly 3,000.
3,048. Okay, so, the world's a very different place with that.
Oh yeah, oh my god. I kind of had an idea, that's why you were asking, but in all honesty, you just said pick an elevation and I immediately thought of Lizard Head, so
So, most of the world's underwater.
yeah, you'd still have Everest, K2, a lot of
There's a little bit of the Rockies. There's a little bit of the Sierra Nevadas. Not much. There's a little bit of the Alaskan Rockies. The Andes. You have this strip of land that is the Andes mountain range.
Mm-hmm. You're still gonna have the Alps.
There's a couple of mountains in Africa along the Rift Valley.
Australia is just completely gone.
Yes.
Is there even anything in Antarctica?
This map glitches out on Antarctica.
Gotcha. But I don't think there would be. At that level, I don't think there's anything over 10,000 feet above sea level. I'm just trying to imagine Pikes Peak only being like 3,000 feet above sea level. Like, that's crazy.
So there is there would be at least a couple of mountains that would be above sea level. And actually, if the water on Antarctica melted, you would have this very interesting thing where the crust would over some time buoy itself up and raise because the weight of the ice is being missing. But the biggest landmass world at the elevation you chose is the Tibetan Plateau.
Yeah, also makes sense.
Yep. Connected to the Himalayan mountains, the Tibetan Plateau would be the largest landmass.
It's still pretty tiny, all things considered.
It
Yeah.
is.
Now, here's the real question. Do you think that that would be sufficient to extinct the species? Do you think that? I mean, say it obviously it if it were to happen instantaneously or even very quickly, then
Yes.
we'd probably just be wiped out. But say it takes a couple of years to happen, and say it lasts for 10, 20 years. At the end of that, how many people do you think are left?
Far too unrealistic. But it would decimate this. It would decimate, but 10, 20 years, not long enough to extinct us. No. The main thing would be climate. This much water. The world is a tropical climate. Entire planet. The humidity would just crank the temperature up. It wouldn't matter where you are. You've got a tropical climate.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't even really be tropical. It'd be like super tropical. Because you're gonna have 100% humidity everywhere all the time, and with no more ice caps, and honestly, even on the mountains, you're not gonna have any more white tops on mountains. So you've got no snow and ice reflecting sunlight back out.
Atmospheric pressure, you might have some snow caps on some of the mountains, but not enough that you're not going to have that you're going to have reflections.
Yeah, so I mean, the planet is going to be receiving and keeping a lot more of the energy, and then a lot of what was white is now going to be dark, dark blue. So instead of reflecting it back, you're going to be absorbing as much of the fucking light as possible. Like,
well, here's the actual problem. How are we gonna? How is oxygen production gonna keep going?
Right?
When so much green is now flooded.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have algae in the ocean that does that job too.
But not nearly at the same scale.
Well, honestly, with the land masses and the amount of breathing creatures that in the on land, it might be enough for the small population that could live on these land. But yeah, that would be my bigger issue. Let's go 1,000 meters.
Check.
Yo, yo.
Hello.
Hey, how are y'all?
Tired, but okay.
You're tired? God damn, boy. How did your mental status get so affected?
Slowly.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
I'm alright.
What are you guys working on?
We're just talking about
Flooding
maps.
the world.
That's a good thing. It needs to be done. It needs to be fleshed out further and further and further.
I mean, God had the plan one time, but he fucked up and let somebody know about it, and they built a boat.
Yes, that all happened. it was a BAD thing, a very very BAD thing. I would like to think of it as a yacht, but I'm biased in that respect.
Yeah, you would, and yeah, you are.
Yeah, I don't deny it. Well, I'm gonna work in the background and chime in if I have any ideas to contribute to your.
Where do you live?
Calgary, Alberta, same time zone as you.
Okay, you're in. Okay.
What's your elevation?
Let's see.
You're in Calgary?
Calgary. Well, see, it depends, because where I am right now, it's 1,045 meters. But if I go to the place I like, which is like an hour from my house, it is at 1,600.
So either way, you would actually make the cut. You'd still be dry by what Ben's looking at right now.
Is Ben looking at the massive West Coast tsunami scenario?
No. There's this website I've gone to that allows you to key in where do you want the water level to go up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And I set it up. Rick wanted me to set it up to 3,000 meters high.
To be fair,
flooded,
he just said pick
dead.
an elevation. He didn't say what we were doing, although I did kind of already know what we were doing. But he just said pick an elevation, and I just said 10,000 feet.
So I just typed in 1,000 meters, and you're still safe.
That's awesome. What site are you using? I'd love to take a look.
Floodmap.net.
Floodmap.net.
I mean, hey, remove.bg. Sometimes...
Yo, no, remove.bg is next level.
It
like,
is. It is. I'm just
Not
saying,
1,000
like,
to-
sometimes you literally do just type in what it is you want to do, and it's not even a search. It's the actual fucking address.
You know, they have an exactly, like, basically the same thing to simulate nuclear explosions. Have you ever seen that one, Ben?
I have seen that one, yes.
Yeah. That one's kind of terrifying.
But yeah, Calgary. Calgary has a beach
No, we don't.
at 1,000 meters elevation. Water elevation change.
Yeah.
Calgary has a beach.
That's pretty awesome. Is the whole island of Nanaimo, of Victoria Island off the coast of British Columbia, is it completely flooded?
The island west of Vancouver.
Yeah, where Victoria and Nanaimo are.
At 800 meters, it's not.
But at 1,000,
At 1,000, it's not either. I mean, it's like you've got peak tops, but
simulate this now. God damn it! I was focused and doing something, and now y'all have got me looking at what happens if we flood to flood map. Elevation is going to be, what did you put in, 1,000 meters?
I put in 1,000. I'm looking at the island west of Vancouver, and I'm slowly increasing the depth until it disappears.
Okay, so basically, let me explain something to you here right now. All the livable parts are completely underwater. I mean, you presumably knew that already. But
Yep. So at 1,800, you have like the top of the peaks and nothing else.
But this is kind of crazy because, like, the direction of the flooding is somewhat surprising to me because all of the eastern seaboard floods, and it's that water that makes the Calgary beach. I thought it would be coming from the Pacific, but the Pacific is getting blocked by the Rocky Mountains.
Rocky Mountains, yep. The Rocky Mountains act as a pretty good barrier against that for the most part.
Yeah, but
if you set it to 70 meters.
It's still probably pretty apocalyptic, isn't it?
70 meters is if all water if all ice on the planet, the ice caps all melted. It would be 70 meters.
I'm checking out right now. I mean,
yeah, Florida's pretty much gone.
It's kind of it's horrible but beautiful.
Because Florida is pretty much gone.
Hey, what's the highest elevation in Quebec? Do you know?
Not very high. I believe it is. I'm looking it up. It is Mount d'Iberville, and it's 1652
Meters or feet?
meters elevation.
All right, 1652. Quebec is flooded. What's left of the world?
I put in 1650 and it's not showing anything.
Plus, give or take, give or take a couple of feet. I don't blame it for not being that accurate.
70 meters, which is the actual number that matters, in a way. Vancouver
70
Island.
meters is the most.
See, the thing is, I don't understand why Vancouver Island is so immune to stuff. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. There's not even very much coastal flooding, and I don't know what the barrier is.
If you look at the 70 meters, if you look at where the city of Victoria is,
Yeah, that doesn't matter because that's a port city. So it like,
well, it's completely underwater.
yeah, and
Langford is fine.
Nanaimo's fucked.
Where's Nanaimo?
Nanaimo's up. It's like the northern city on the northeast quadrant, next to that little green island. If you just go straight shot up the highway, below Parksville.
Oh, okay. Yep, there it is.
But see, the thing is, like,
it's basically screwed.
but there's still a lot of land that's livable, which is shocking to me.
Elevation goes up really quickly right there. If you actually look at California, it doesn't actually lose as much coastline as you'd think it would.
See, Cali.
And that's because, I mean, it has a giant lake, a giant bay in it now because Napa Valley floods. But,
Oh my god, that actually looks pretty cool.
We're back at
Yep.
70. All right, let me go over
Yeah.
there. Because even at 1,000, Quebec is gone.
Yeah,
Like,
Quebec
that-
is.
That 1652, like, I don't know where that's coming from or where they're getting their shit from because, like, literally at 1,000, there's fucking nothing.
No, but
Greenland and Antarctica, I found on this map, just kind of glitch out with elevation, with the elevation changes.
no, but the elevation changes don't matter in and of themselves because I think the map is also modeling. I can't be sure. I think it's modeling like the way water would flow, which is why it makes me think that the pooling in Quebec would be such that it would actually be higher than 1600, so that 1652 would get covered at 1600. Does that make sense? But
Yeah. Anyways, this thing that California's doing,
Mhm.
that actually happened like a couple million years ago.
you know what's kind of crazy about this is like
There's
I'm
the
looking.
lake right there.
I'm looking at the entire world right now, and outside of Africa and some parts of South America, I really get the feeling that Calgary is like this, literally the safest. Calgary and maybe Denver, Salt Lake are like the best places to live. And
Definitely Salt Lake is not on the best places to live.
That's
I mean,
because the natives that live there. Air
Well,
quotes
they'll-
around natives.
They'll all be dead.
I'm talking Mormons.
Yeah, they'll all be killed.
Look at Australia.
Oh yeah, Australia is just fucking. Wait, is Steve alive? No, Adelaide is covered. Okay. What happens to Adelaide at 70?
Where's Adelaide?
It's right on the south coast. Yeah, it's mostly covered at 70.
Oh,
I mean-
there it is.
His house, let me see. That's the central business district. Yeah, his house is fucked. Yeah. He is not climate proof. Rick, you're just wiped out no matter what. So
Yeah. I mean, if we go down 5 meters, I'm flooding.
I mean, like, honestly, I don't understand completely why Florida is inhabited. I'm not even taking the piss. It's just
Ron
like,
DeSantis.
no. Historically, why was Florida inhabited? Like, it doesn't make that.
Mostly climate reasons, I think.
Weather? Yeah.
I'm actually checking to see how much would have to flood for DeBerry to actually be underwater.
A lot?
No.
Well, I'm at 20 meters and DeBerry is not entirely underwater. Hell, screw it. I know what drive you live on. There's your street. I'm staring directly at your street. Let's increase. Wow. Okay. Basically 25 meters.
Damn.
At 25 meters, there's a handful of like slightly higher hills that are above water, but you're I think your neighbors across the street are actually above water. Rick. I think house 54 is above water.
Well, you have to get down into that level.
Everything else is flooded.
No, I mean, that actually makes sense, because if you remember, her house actually does sit a little higher than mine. Like, my driveway is flat, and hers is a slight incline.
Oh, shit. I need to fucking get more post-its.
Alright, at 22 meters, you're on an island. Connected to the golf course.
Hey, important things. Yeah, I'm looking at 20 right now, and yeah, we're an island. Orange City is also an island. Oh no, there's just a bunch of tiny little fucking islands.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also not only would that all be water, it would also be very, very scary water, because I don't know if you see the Lake Monroe right there to the southeast of us, but that is the highest population of gators in the world.
Close do you live to gators, Rick?
There is, like, literally, if I had a better arm, I could stand in my front yard and throw a stone and probably hit one.
So you know when you're tripping on shrooms and like walking around the neighborhood on my channel?
On our channels, yeah.
Well, you did it on my channel.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we didn't get mine to work until I got back home.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. On your channels too, but in this case it was on my channels. Well, you know what I mean. Are you in danger of getting eaten by gators?
No.
Why?
Number one, much like most other wild animals, like, unless there is a reason for them to fuck with you, they're not, like, just coming out after you.
No, I agree.
Especially, like, gators, cold-blooded, they fucking chill they're ambush predators.
Yep.
So...
That's why I'm asking, because they will, from what I understand, they will occasionally opportunistically make a random attack, no?
It's not so random. I mean, will they attack humans when they are presented with human bait? Yes, absolutely. And so if I were that kind of Florida man that were to, be tripping and go decide to fuck with a gator, would there be a good chance of me getting ate by a gator? Yes, absolutely. But me not being a Florida man and not going and fucking with gators as a personal rule, the likelihood of me having an incidental run-in with a gator is significantly lower.
Okay, fair. I just remember there was that story at Disney where the baby got eaten by the gator. Like, the gator came off of they were sitting around at a pond or whatever watching a movie on an outdoor thing, and like the gator just came out and ate a baby, and people were upset by it.
I blame the parents.
Yeah, I blame the parents, because that's not Disney's fault and it's not the gator's fault. Disney probably could have done a better job of preventing it, but it's not their fault that animals do animal things.
Oh no, I agree completely with you. I mean, I don't even think it's the parent. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it's like literally just random.
Oh no, 100%. Watch your fucking kids. It's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
If you are out in public with your child and something happens to your child that you don't see happening, it's happening because you're not watching.
From what I understood, and this was, you know what, I'm going to read the story. Disney baby gator.
So, while you're looking for that, how high of elevation do you think we'd have to go to have North America, Greenland, Iceland, and Europe connected by a land bridge?
A land bridge.
How low would the water level have to drop?
Oh Jesus.
How many meters?
Minus 728.
I'm gonna guess in the 2,000 range.
728. Let's check that. All right, so 728. United States to Canada, and there is a land bridge over to Greenland from Canada.
Iceland?
There is a land bridge over to Iceland from Greenland. There is a land bridge. It just barely doesn't make it. There's a path of water between the island of Foroyar and Great Britain.
Okay, so this is a story about the baby snatch. Oh my god, baby snatch. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, thanks. Demonetization, here I come.
The snatching of the baby. So, they were at a outdoor nighttime event where there was a movie about to be played, but before the movie there were fireworks. The father and the baby were next to each other, wading in the pond. There's no indication that either were swimming. Witnesses report that the father was within a few feet of the toddler, and it was dark and it was night. And the alligator just took the baby, and they only found the remains the next day. So I mean, I guess you can blame the parents in as much as don't go wading with a baby in the dark, but did they know there would be gators? Is the question. Because
Right.
otherwise,
Florida, they should have.
Yes, it's Florida. They should have. But also, yeah. I mean, with more facts, I say, yeah. There's probably a little bit less culpability on the parents there, and possibly more on Disney. Like, was this actually a wading pool?
I do not know, but to add context, the family was from Nebraska, so they might not have known about gators.
Well, that adds more culpability onto the parents because know where the fuck you're traveling to.
Agreed, but I mean, when I'm in Florida, I'm paranoid about gators. That's true. I don't know. For me, this is a tough one in giving complete fault to the parents.
Oh, I never said complete fault to the parents. Just, more than even.
I'm leaning slightly to more towards Disney because I feel like there should have been a sign.
There probably was. People don't read signs.
I do.
You also read terms of service.
Yes. Who doesn't?
Everybody but you and me, and occasionally our audience members.
Womp, womp, womp.
God, those were some good fucking shows, though, right?
Oh man, that's high quality fucking content.
High quality content. God damn, we lambasted those buffoons.
I mean, I've read other projects, terms of service, and they're just as bad. Even ones that were written by that I know were written by council, they're just bad. I'm struggling with an NFT I need to make here. It's not giving me the output I want. Oh my god, what the fuck is this shit?
All right.
I'm actually very surprised by how much land there is at 2,000 meters of water.
Yeah, no, it's kind of shocking. I wonder if that's where Bill Gates is buying all his agricultural lands, because Bill Gates is obsessed with rising waters and that whole idea of a West Coast tsunami, and I know he's bought a ton of land in Montana and like the plains, like land that's meant to be for agriculture. So I actually find this very interesting.
Oh, wow. Surprisingly enough, there would be 3 Hawaiian islands.
Yeah, those mountains actually go up pretty high. Wow. I just checked to detonate a nuke in Cortez. I went to that nuke map.
Going nuclear.
And detonated the largest nuclear bomb that has ever been designed.
Maybe I should build a tool that merges the flood and nuke maps. I feel like that would be funny.
Flood the world and then nuke what's left.
Yeah, why not? Sounds like a plan, actually.
What direction does the wind normally blow here? Lately, it's been blowing from the north, so it'd go like that. Let's see how Rick's home survives a nuke.
Well, our governor's a cockroach, so... Oh, wait, no.
Largest nukes?
He's just the same height as a cockroach, that's right.
Let's air burst it this time instead of surface burst.
Airburst is good for spreading the radiation. It's not really good for damaging actual infrastructure. Is it? As far as I remember?
Airburst allows the shockwave to do more of its its job.
Oh, so airburst will do more damage to buildings?
Yeah, I think if you're looking to maximize collateral damage, or damage period, then yeah, airburst is the way to go.
Yeah, but if you want to maximize fallout, you want surface burst because you want that nuclear material. You want that nuclear material to vaporize ground and concrete and soil, which will add to the dust cloud that it brings out. Airbursting is a lot cleaner.
This shows how useless doing a PhD is, because we spent 2 weeks of twice a week, 3-hour classes studying nuclear weapons and nuclear deterrence. And I remember like all the game theory, but I don't remember anything about like the nukes. And like seriously, this was like 12 hours of PhD level class time. Ridiculous.
Then there's high altitude nuclear detonations, which don't actually damage anything other than it sends an EMP out at the bottom of the burst to destroy electrical devices.
So it's like an EMP.
Yeah. You detonate it high enough in the atmosphere that the excited electrons from the nuclear reaction hit the upper atmosphere, are reflected back up, and they just sort of do this bounce back and forth, creating a EMP pulse.
I think I'm dictator. I'll put you in charge of the fucking what do you call it? The nukes, Ben.
So, radiation field.
Okay, radiation radius. DeBerry and Deltona is gone.
Yep.
The fireball radius. All of Orange City is gone.
Yep.
Heavy blast damage.
The land is probably gone.
You're not quite, but almost to Lake Mary, just south of you.
Yep.
Moderate blast damage. You've hit the outskirts of, effectively the outskirts of Orlando. Winter Spring and Longwood are at the edge of light blast damage. Thermal radiation. Radius. Oviedo, Castleberry, and Almonte Springs. Everything in a circle from there is on fire.
The collective is burning.
What the fuck?
Hold up. Never mind. That was I was mistaking colors for radiation. Yeah, moderate blast radius stops. Heavy blast radius doesn't go very far. Moderate doesn't quite reach Oviedo. Light blast radius stops between Orlando and Kissimmee. And then thermal radiation, everything up to Kissimmee is on fire.
Lovely.
All right, I just want to say stop talking about it and fucking demonstrate already.
I can't do that while you're there.
That's the point.
That's the Tsar. That was the Tsar Bomba, which is unrealistic to have as a nuke because of how gigantically stupid that design was. No, seriously, they scaled the design from 100 megatons to 50 megatons because they realized how stupid the design was. They were worried that the plane that carried the bomb would not be able to get out of the blast radius in time. And they're like, that's kind of dumb. We need to scale this back.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So the Castle Bravo bomb airburst instead of surface. Yeah, there really is no real radiation with airburst. I mean, some, but not a whole lot. All right. So airburst. So an airburst bomb that's more reasonable. Well, Orlando is gone. And then glass is broken all over the place a little bit further out, but basically stops at Orlando.
I think it'd be far more realistic, though, that the bomb actually gets dropped on Orlando. And then it's a question of how far out becomes survivable. Like, nobody's gonna drop a fucking bomb on goddamn D fucking Barry.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I think we can do better.
Like, I'd say the most likely target would actually probably be, like,
In Florida?
in this area, yeah.
England.
Why?
Where's Egland?
England Air Force Base in Florida?
Oh,
There's-
I was looking at army bases as well.
yeah.
England. I mean, the two things they would go after would be CENTCOM in Tampa. 100% they would nuke Tampa. And England Air Force Base, because there's a lot of strategic assets at England.
Yeah,
a lot
no,
of-
that's a good point. Although when you said Egland, I wasn't thinking like EGLUND. I was thinking EGGLAND. I was specifically thinking like Eggland's Best Eggs. Like, what is their fucking factory, or are there fucking like chickens like
Where is
around here or
Eggland?
something? Like, why the fuck are you gonna destroy the chickens first, man? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where is Egland?
It's on the Panhandle-ish.
Oh, see, that's
Oh,
not
but-
in this area.
Yeah,
It-
then you're
it-
fine.
It's close enough.
And honestly, Tampa's too far away from DeBerry either.
Yeah, I'm
For-
talking
that
about
for you to be any
Central
problem.
Florida specifically.
Okay,
Let's
well-
say they're just taking out big city centers. Let's put a Castle Bravo nuke on Orlando.
Wait, let me check to make sure there isn't a military base I'm missing, because there are a ton of military bases in Florida.
There are 21 of them according to this website I just took a look at.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go look around the Eglin's over there near Tyndall. What else is here?
Oh.
Jacksonville. Oh no. No. Is there anything they'd want to take out near you? Why can't I find Orlando on a fucking map?
Tampa, Miami.
Where the fuck is
South
Orlando
Florida?
relative to Tampa?
It's east on I-4. Just find the biggest road in Florida and follow
Yeah,
it.
I'm staring at a map, but it's just because it's south of Jacksonville, obviously,
Yep.
and it's on the east coast of Florida.
No. It is
Oh,
Central Florida. It is in the middle. It is more towards the east, but no, if you're so look at Jacksonville, you follow 95 south, you'll see I-4 goes west off of it and kind of southwest. Orlando
I'll be
is
honest,
right
all these
there on
military
I-4.
bases. Yeah, it's because all these military bases are like taking up space. I've found Orlando on a map before. Okay, why can't I do this? I should know where it is.
Naval Air Warfare Warfare Center. West of Orlando.
No, they won't
Or
take that
east of
out.
Orlando. It's the closest military base to where Rick lives.
There is the Malabar Annex Space Force base. I do not know what is there. That's not that far.
I'm just gonna drop it on Orlando.
Yeah, I would say the fucking like, if you were looking for collateral damage, like we did when we actually dropped the only bombs that have been dropped in combat, because we did not drop them on military bases.
No.
I would think that the Rosin Center Hotel would probably be like one of the best spots.
Miami would be a pretty decent place to drop one, because you'd have a lot of ocean fallout too.
Okay, so as far as Orlando, if it got dropped, if Castle Bravo nuke was dropped on Orlando, so Orlando itself it's just gone. Center Orlando just gone. gotten in nuclear fire. You have you got the moderate blast damage radius goes all the way out to Winter Garden and Althea.
Alafaya, yep.
Althea
Used to live out there.
Basically, that blast damage peters out around Longwood and Winter Springs.
Yep.
And then you have the thermal radiation, which I'm sorry you're on fire. I'm sorry, Rick, you're on fire.
Yeah, it's all right. It won't last long.
You're in the thermal radiation zone, which means you're basically 100% probability of third-degree burns.
I think that's a 100% of instant death. And if it's not instant death, you probably wish it was.
Yeah, no, I think it's only like a 90% probability of instant death. It's a 100% probability of wishing for instant death.
And then the blast wave that...
I'm going to take a wicked piss, I'll be back. Not just a piss, like I'm wicked piss.
And then the blast wave that shatters glass, it peters out around Lake Helen.
Yeah, that's a ways.
And then, between Orange City and DeLand. But yeah, you're on fire. With a bomb that large.
And we're not even playing fucking NBA Jams TE.
The largest bomb in the U.S. arsenal, because I mean that is the Castle Bravo, the largest United States bomb tested. I want to know, like, how about a regular bomb in some arsenal? Let's go to the Russian arsenal. The most common bomb in the Russian arsenal. Show me. Congratulations. You're fine.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Maybe
if it was airburst,
unaffected.
Yeah, if it was airbursted, you're fine. The shockwave that shatters glass stops around Winter Springs. Orlando's still, very dead, but where would they have to drop the bomb for you to actually be majorly affected?
I mean, Sanford would definitely do it. Or...
Yeah, but there's nothing...
Deltona, Orange City.
Deltona, definitely. DeLand, just barely... But there's nothing in those places that they'd want to drop the bomb on.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. The only reasonable target around here would be Orlando. Like,
yeah. I mean,
did I just lose you?
The B3.
There we go. You're back now. Okay.
China's current intercontinental ballistic missiles. You are barely fine. Your house might rattle a bit, but you should be okay. I'm going to drag this over to Colorado and take a look at the at Cortez. There is only one target. Anywhere near Colorado. And that's because they've taken the word of some nutcase that claims that they have a silo site hidden in Mesa Verde. I've heard that from a couple of people who live around here who swear up and down, no, they have a missile silo site hidden in Mesa Verde.
Yeah, that's totally believable.
Yeah, very, very believable. And I would be... I think the glass in my house would all be shattered, and my eardrums would probably be in significant pain, but I think I'd be alive. Now, if you wanted a more realistic target...
I don't know, you're only 10 miles away from Mesa Verde. Well, no, I guess you're 10 miles away from the off-ramp, huh?
Yeah. If they wanted a more realistic target, they'd probably do the military... What the hell is that?
Honestly, the only real potential target that I could think of in Colorado would be NORAD, but that would be stupid because you're not gonna fucking do anything to NORAD.
No, you're not.
Like,
there is, however, Portland Air Force Base, I think, would be the closest thing to where I am in New Mexico. I doubt they would want to take hit any National Guard depots. Those aren't big enough to merit anything.
You might want to hit a National Guard depot if it's full of air assets.
Yeah, not in my neck of the woods.
Oh, you're talking about in your state?
Yeah, corner of southwest corner of Colorado. Yeah.
You know, what's getting hit in your state first is like everything's being dropped on Colorado Springs.
is that where NORAD is?
NORAD and a lot of other shit that I can't talk about on stream.
There's more than just NORAD as far as military bases. There's Fort Carson in Colorado Springs, and I think there's another military base in Fort Collins, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, but Colorado Springs would be the target of. It'd be one of the two main military targets in the United States. 100%.
I was saying that, like, I think the closest military base that might be a target to where I live would be Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico.
That would be a secondary target, not a primary, though. Like, it wouldn't be in the first wave.
I don't honestly see NORAD being a big target, though, just because, I mean, it's built into the mountain. You're not touching NORAD with a nuke.
You theoretically...
They wouldn't want... They're not really after nuking what's in the mountain.
Exactly.
They want to take out the facilities on the outside of the mountain. Because you can't hide it. You can't really effectively hide jets inside the NORAD, inner mountain base.
And the other thing they want to do is they want to make the surrounding territory unlivable to isolate activities within NORAD and deprive it of the supply chain.
I don't think it would be their number one priority in as far as nuking things in the United States, but they definitely would throw a nuke. They would definitely throw a nuke at it if they had the if they had the opening.
Yeah, if you're starting a campaign, it's somewhere you're gonna hit. I'm just saying it's not like first priority.
If I'm dropping 2 nukes on the United States, I'm hitting Offutt is it in Nebraska? I don't know where it is. Offutt and NORAD and Colorado Springs. Like from a counterforce nuclear point of view, those are the places to hit. In my opinion.
I would have thought it would have been God, what's that gigantic Air Force base in California?
Oh,
like thousands and thousands of planes.
Yeah, that's irrelevant though. If they don't like those are because those planes can't get anywhere without the tankers and the strategic assets that are off it and the coordination that takes place from the various places in Colorado Springs. So are you talking about Miramar in Florida?
I don't.
No,
Florida?
Miramar, California.
California, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I just remember there's an Air Force base in California that has like thousands and thousands of planes that are just like sort of in storage, ready to go once shit hits the fan.
Yeah, I'm thinking Miramar.
No, it's not. You know, the Boneyard.
Well, it's definitely not talking about 29 stumps.
It's actually in Tucson.
Tucson?
I think the one you're talking about is in Tucson, Ben, if I'm not mistaken, the one with the thousands of planes that are like ready to provide parts.
No, it's not for parts. It's just like a storage thing for like snowballed planes they don't need right now.
Oh, for Irwin! Right?
I don't remember the name. I just remember there's like thousands of planes just kind of snowballed, ready for them to unpack in air quotes, because I don't think they actually pack it into a crate or something, but...
Are you sure it's not across like a couple of bases that are around each other?
It could be. I just remember seeing something online about like thousands of planes just kind of mothballed and ready to be used once this country actually needs them.
It'd be totally fucking useless though. I forgot though. I made a mistake. Colorado Springs would be my third target. I'm hitting Nellis, which includes Area 51. The test range there. I'm hitting that and off it with my first 2 shots. Colorado Springs my third shot.
Alright. Let's throw some rocks at the United States. Where do you want me to throw it?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yes!
Alright, Columbus, Ohio. Where... Is that Columbus? That is Columbus, Ohio. Okay. Alright. Iron asteroid. Diameter of 1 mile? What do you think? 1 mile?
Sure. Why not?
This particular simulator only goes up to 1 mile. 1 mile is the biggest.
Just drop the Tsar Bomba.
And let's kick its speed to, let's say, 120,000 miles per hour.
Can you... I would love it if you could drop a nuke that would destroy both Columbus, Ohio, and Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I mean, yeah, that would be fun.
Where's Ann Arbor, Michigan?
I don't really know. I was there once. It kind of sucked. Worse.
Never
Well,
even
I'm
been
gonna-
there. I think
I'ma
it's
throw-
like up here somewhere. You're probably not watching the stream, so this is meaningless, but
I am not currently watching the stream, unfortunately.
I think it's right about the first knuckle on the middle finger.
I cut myself upstairs. It's annoying. Cutting oneself is suboptimal.
Okay. So I just threw the rock at Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
1 mile iron asteroid. 22-mile wide crater.
Yeah, let's go.
747,000 people
That's not enough.
vaporized in the crater.
Need
Yeah,
more.
that's less than 1% of 1%.
That's not even the whole Columbus metropolitan area.
That's
like it-
just in the. That is just the crater. You have a
Oh.
fireball 63 miles across.
Oh, okay, we're good then. Yeah.
Estimated 28,454,437 people die from the fireball.
How many did you say? Can you say that number again? It was so big that.
28 million.
28.5 million
That's hilarious.
die from the fireball. 13 million get third-degree burns. Clothes would catch fire within 318 miles of the impact.
You're doing God's work, sir. God's work.
The decibel shockwave would kill about 3 million people.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful.
Would the Buckeye nut actually go extinct, though?
Anyone within 139 miles would receive lung damage from the sonic shockwave.
Sounded loud, man. Yeah, how loud was it? It hurt my lungs. That's just so fucking ridiculous.
Wind blast. Yikes. Wind 128 miles per hour.
I love it.
Yeah, it would. That impact would decimate basically everything from Ohio to the border of Florida. Just everything decimated. In a circle. That would be the radius from Ohio to the border of Florida.
That is so beautiful.
Columbus there, and then, like, just draw a circle. Everything in there is obliterated in some manner. Honestly, the crater is actually the small point, the small guy. It's like the fireball of the shock wave that they're doing most of the work.
Turtles all the way down, sir.
Would you like me to throw another one somewhere? Maybe something smaller this time.
Why don't you try throwing one at Calgary?
Alright, if I can remember where Calgary is.
It's just start in Colorado and go north till you hit Canada. If you
Yeah.
see
That's not
if you see Winnipeg or Regina, go left.
I see Saskatoon?
Left. The province between Saskatchewan and British Columbia.
Okay. Is that Calgary?
I'll turn the stream.
Calgary! I found. Alright. What type of asteroid should I throw at Calgary? Iron, stone, carbon, ice, gold.
Ice. Ice, ice, baby. I'm watching.
How big? 3
Dealer,
foot to 1...
dealer's choice. Like, make it a reasonable asteroid. Make it a smaller asteroid.
Can you be right back?
Can you put it right on my house?
Maybe. I don't know what you're at, where you live.
2238 28th Street Southwest.
2238 23rd Street?
28th Street Southwest.
28th. Southwest.
In Calgary, T3, Thomas 3 Edward 2 Hotel 6.
All right. Then I can coordinate.
Throw like the smallest, like throw a fluke asteroid directly at my house.
Okay, I can basically do that. Okay, so there's so throw an ice asteroid.
Well, actually, what would the most common type of asteroid be? It would actually be a rock, right?
Ice actually. Well, ice or stone are ice, stone, and iron are the most common. With
Well,
ice and stone being more common than iron.
Pick the one you think would be most likely.
Let's do a 500-foot comet.
Isn't that a little big? I'm talking like
500-foot diameter.
Isn't that a bit big? Like if I'm talking like a random, like kind of like a shitty asteroid that just like randomly fluke asteroid that we didn't predict. Wouldn't that be like a tiny one?
500 foot actually isn't particularly large for asteroids.
No, I know.
I could do a 3 foot.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, just throw a 3-foot asteroid directly at my house. I want to see like the radius of the damage.
All right, what speed?
Let's do something realistic.
We're talking cosmic. We're talking like cosmic space speeds. There's a lot of things that are realistic.
I would think it's a fast mover, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Let's do 180 miles per hour. 180,000 miles per hour.
That works for me.
And let's have the impact angle be 45 degrees.
Actually, no, that would not work. Make it, if you don't mind, like 70 degrees, just because of the way the neighborhood is shaped.
Okay. And then looking at where you live. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There? Nope. There. Okay. I have it centered literally on your house.
Nice. All right, let's do it.
Okay. And launch.
Thank you for your hard work, Ben.
Unfortunately, it was too small, going too fast.
So what did it do? Just burned up in the atmosphere?
It blew up 48 miles above your house.
Is there any debris? Anybody hurt? Nothing?
Nope. Says an impact this size happens about every 60 days. on
All
Earth.
right, why don't we go up to a 10-footer coming in at the same speed, if that's possible?
I can go up to like 20, 30?
Yeah, why don't we do?
40?
Yeah, let's do that. Like a small asteroid that's still,
Okay.
dead.
So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Target your house again. Same speed, same impact angle.
Yes. Please.
And nope, I guess ice isn't strong enough.
It could be because we have the Chinook winds here, which are warm winds. Maybe they're melting them.
I don't know. I don't think this would take that into account.
No.
Also, the speed this thing is going, I don't think the ambient temperature matters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's try
it's gonna
3.
melt much more from the resistance entering the atmosphere than from your fucking winds.
Well, you guys do know what a Chinook wind is, though, right? It's the cold air coming east over the Rocky Mountains, then coming down into the foothills that we live in. So we can go from like minus 20 Celsius to plus 10 or 15 Celsius overnight.
Well, I got. Okay, I got some magic to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let me scale this back down and see if I can. Okay, nope. 40 is indeed still too small. 100. No, 100 wouldn't do it. 300. Still centered on your house. Okay, I got some results.
Nice.
Okay, so the asteroid blew up 4 miles above your house.
Okay.
It lets out a 207 decibel shockwave.
Okay.
That shockwave would do severe lung damage, and then estimate to everyone within 5 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
An
pretty intense.
estimated 2,200 people would likely die of shock from it.
Of shock.
That's what I call a shockwave.
Rick, go suck a pallet of dicks. I was taking a sip of hot coffee, and I just snorted this burning fucking hot coffee up onto my mustache area and into my fucking nose. And now I'm burned because of you fucking prick. Oh. God, this coffee's hot. God damn, motherfucker. Sorry, man.
Thank you.
Anyone within 7.5 miles would have their eardrums rupture.
So all of Calgary, basically.
Actually, most people would die from the wind, from the wind burst that it would cause.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
With wind within 1.7 miles would be faster than storms on Jupiter.
God damn, motherfucker. God.
Yeah. So you'd have a little area of about 1.7 miles circle, where basically there aren't any buildings standing anymore. It's just rubble.
Dang.
Within 12 miles, it would feel like being within an F5 tornado.
The big tornado.
An
12-mile wide F5 tornado. Jesus fuck.
An estimated 500,000 people would die from the wind blast.
Living the dream.
And it didn't even get to touch the ground.
Oh lordy.
All right. How do I order one?
You want me to throw one at your house?
No, I want the universe to throw one at my house.
All right. Well, there's Orlando. Going up. There's DeBerry. Over to your house. And I think that one's your house because you don't have a curved driveway. Okay. What are we throwing at you?
The book?
I'm going to throw a 20-foot chunk of gold at you.
Okay.
Rick's like, yes, please. All my problems are solved. One way or the other.
Yeah, no, both ways.
It is going to be traveling at 200 to 1,000 miles per hour.
Reasonable.
And I'm going to have it hit at a 90-degree impact. Just straight down.
To maximize fuckery, right?
And launch. Okay, it actually makes it to the ground. The crater isn't even a foot wide, because I think most of it evaporates on the way, or disintegrates on the way down, but it does, part of it would probably make it to the ground.
It's raining gold. Hallelujah, it's raining gold.
You are very, very dead in the fireball.
Oh, yeah.
Rick is very happy.
That would... Let's see, the fireball would... Let's see, an estimated 2,426 people die from the fireball.
Say that number again, 2,426?
Yep.
It's not enough.
1,559 people get second-degree burns. Clothes would catch on fire within 1 mile of impact. Trees would catch on fire within 2.2.
I mean, that's decent, but, like...
The shockwave kills 1,189 people.
It's pretty decent.
The wind speed kills another 6,400.
Oh, glorious.
Ultimately, though, the destruction, even from the wind speed, doesn't even reach Sanford.
It doesn't even what?
Doesn't even reach the next town over.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, as soon as you said fucking, like, the crater is less than a foot, like, I realized, yeah, we're talking about significantly less destruction.
Unfortunately.
Launch another. Alright, let's move away from gold. Gold's a little soft. That's probably the problem.
Yeah.
Let's go with this iron asteroid. And I'm going to have it hit your front yard.
It's raining gold, hallelujah, it's raining gold.
It didn't even make it to the ground. That's interesting. It blew up 18 miles above the ground.
$18 miles is away. Did it do anything?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'm going to go back to gold and throw a 1,000-foot chunk of gold instead of a 20-foot.
Dan, I thought you would be more knowledgeable than this about astrophysics, good sir. I thought you'd be able to wreak massive destruction in an instant.
Okay, that worked.
And there we go.
A 1,000-foot chunk of gold makes a 10-mile wide crater.
Now we're in business.
Yeah.
By the crater itself vaporized 60,000 people.
Yeah, let's go. This is what we need.
Made a fireball 25 miles wide.
Can you speak a little louder? My washing machine is going a little apeshit right now.
Holy crap.
Okay.
Center Florida is basically gone. Holy shit.
Sounds like a net win.
Sounds like a good day.
It's like, I'm looking at the fireball thing, and it's like, the 50% fatalities thing, it covers the entire width of Florida. It goes out into the ocean, and, like, it touches the other side of the Florida coast.
See, sir, that is God's work.
No,
But
that is Ben's work, because Ben actually exists.
Well, yeah, I was calling Ben God. That was kind of my point.
But he's
5
already
million
Ben God.
5 million die from the fireball.
I don't know if Ben has any...
1.5 die from the shockwave.
Wait, what?
What?
1.5?
Million.
Oh, million. Okay. 1.5 people die from the shockwave.
So all told, it's 5 million die from the fireball.
I want my money back.
1.5 million die from the shockwave. Peak wind speed. 15,000 miles per hour. 2.5 million people die from the wind blast.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that tracks.
it generates a 7.6 magnitude earthquake from the impact zone.
And as if any of that wasn't enough, then you would have people losing their fucking minds because there's an earthquake in Florida. I mean, these people can't even fucking deal with snow.
Okay, so, Miami? I mean, Miami itself is okay. But all those towns that blend... Those towns and cities that blend into it on the north?
We don't want Miami to be okay.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if they would be, though, because if something hit that hard and made that big of a crater, there's a good likelihood that the bottom section of Florida is no longer connected to the northern section of Florida.
They get hit by the shockwave and the wind speed and the wind burst. So like they're not untouched, but compared to they don't really get the fireball.
Yeah, no, I mean I get that point. I'm just saying that like if there was any kind of event that was that catastrophic in the middle, it'd be kind of like, I mean, what would happen if you were to drop a nuke or a fucking rock on the San Andreas Fault? Like, this program is not going to accurately map out the complexities of the fault line involved.
I'm going to do something. I'm going to target just the center of the United States. I'm going to max out all 3 of these with a gold asteroid for highest density. And let's see what that does. Middle of the United States, gold asteroid, 1 mile across, going 250,000 miles per hour, hitting at a 90-degree impact.
I think I want to Ben a job as chief disaster simulator in Prime Media.
Okay, this crater is 72 miles wide.
Your enthusiasm is unparalleled.
Wow, it stretches. I put the target at the border between Kansas and Nebraska.
Kansas is right in the middle, right?
Basically. It stretches from Canada border to Mexico border. The fireball.
Damn.
30 million
I call
gone in the fireball.
Efficiency.
The shockwave basically covers the entire country.
Corrupted right now? Anybody?
What?
What?
Is my washing machine being disruptive?
Yes.
I can hear it, but I'm ignoring
Should I
it.
turn off my mic, or is it not that bad?
We can't really hear you talking because of the... Like, it's not bothering us, but it is interrupting you talking.
It only has 4 minutes to go.
All right, well then shut up and listen to Ben for 4 minutes and we'll all be good.
Perfect.
If you want to mess with this one, it's the website is neil.fun/asteroid dash launcher /
Would you be able to put it in the voice chat by any chance?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
It looks like a pretty quick and easy one, but it's fun to mess with. There was another one I saw a little earlier.
So by the way, to clarify, guys, we are playing tomorrow, but we are not playing next week, right?
We are playing tomorrow. There is no scheduled official yet for next week.
Okay, so basically the schedule is in complete flux because of that little, like, hiccup kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think anybody else knows the depths of the existential crisis that Fairheart is going through right now, and I don't think anybody could play him accurately. So I feel like I have to be there no matter what.
Nobody else would be playing your character anyways. That's not how we do things. If you're not there, you're just not there. I mean, you'll be...
No, I know that, Rick. What I'm trying to say is that in his current state, how can I put this? It's not that Fairheart wants to be disruptive at all. It's that he sees the world very differently from... Well, I mean, all the characters see the world differently. He's just kind of insane.
Yeah.
So if he's not there, then I feel like the story cannot... It's not like he's the center of the story, don't get me wrong. It's like, as a side, whatever... The world is not colored appropriately unless it gets Fairheart's, like... Fuck you.
He's a broken person, is the way I've been looking at it.
Yes, he is, but the thing is, Fairheart is gonna have a redemption arc. It's just, it's not time yet. I'm waiting for Rick to give me the, not to, like for Rick to, for the opening in the campaign to emerge, for Fairheart to find himself. Because I don't want Fairheart to be a dick forever.
Yeah.
Like, overcompensation can only go so far. Mind you, it also gets very tiring to play a character who's, like, in the midst of an existential crisis if you're, like, kind of, like, trying to really, like, method act the character. I don't know, I mean, I presume you guys have done it, right?
I don't think any of us have method acted a existential crisis in a character to the point of creating our own existential crisis in our real lives.
I know, isn't it fucking weird?
Then again, I don't know if we can actually blame Fairheart for Kevin's existential crises.
No, but you do have to realize that the fact that he was called Kevin from the beginning, and that was kind of random, already created this, like, baseline connection that I felt to him, and I thought that he was a fucking prick from the moment you introduced me to him. And he's been through a lot, man.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have any reason to be a dick. He doesn't have a good reason to be a dick, because there really isn't a good reason to be a dick. Just, you know, fucking shoulder your shit and move on. But he does have a reason. He's got plenty of reasons.
Fairheart doesn't realize he's being a dick, though.
True.
Except when he does.
Except when he does.
And the only person he really is purposely a dick to is Kyla. No offense.
Mm-hmm. Like, Kyla's currently just been shrugging it off.
Kyla's what?
Kyla's basically just been kind of trying to shrug it off, but her mind is a little elsewhere right now anyways.
Yeah, I know. But it probably doesn't help that Fairheart's being a dick to her. Like, she's ignoring it, but it's probably gnawing at her a little bit.
Also, it's really, really counterproductive.
Yeah.
Like, when there is someone who actually knows their way around the caverns and has a feeling that they should be going a specific way, and then you're just like, well, I'm gonna go the other way and fuck it, and I'm gonna make everyone follow me because I'm not gonna pay any attention to what's going on with anything, and I'm gonna end up in a completely different part of the fucking...
See, what I would respond to that is that the party fucked up. They should have never came after me, but Brother Bonk was just too kind.
This is also true. This is also true. However, if they hadn't, I don't know that you would have ever seen them again.
I agree. But the thing is Fairheart is at that point, and honestly, Rick, I want to start slowly bringing him back from the brink. But to do that, something needs to happen, and I don't know what it is, but maybe you know.
I don't. I know where y'all are, and I know where I'm trying to take y'all.
I don't know if the DMs do this, but Fairheart needs how can I put this? You know how Brother Bonk, like, we've had those, I don't know how much we can say about it, but Brother Bonk had his special discovery last week that he figured out?
Uh-huh.
Like a come to Jesus moment of a sort, like a transformational thing.
I think Fairheart needs a near-death experience.
Fairheart needs something to snap him out of it, is what I'm saying. Like, and I'll be real with you, like, I don't know if like you want to hear this as a DM, and it's not a critique, it's more like I need you, if you can, to give Fairheart I don't mean like making a Fairheart centered episode. Just give Fairheart a critical decision or something of the sort, like something that matters for everybody else so that he can unfuck himself. Does that make any sense?
Hard thing to arrange with a number of party members who can make as many decisions as they can.
I know.
Not only that, but that's also very much like, I understand the request, but that is very much not my DMing style. Like, I don't give anything to a player. I give everything to the party. I know
exactly what you mean by that. What I'm trying, and I'm not even requesting it. I'm saying, what am I saying? I'm saying that Fairheart might not be ready to change his arc yet, but Fairheart is getting close. Let me rephrase it. Do you think that there'll be something in the world that'll happen to the party that'll potentially give Fairheart the chance to make a decision that will enhance his self-confidence because he picks right in something that matters, not bashing a door down?
I would say that sticking with the party would be a good first step in right decisions.
I would agree with that entirely. And I would say
hey
that
guys, I'm gonna head out. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, Ben. Thank you much. Have a good night.
Yep.
Rick, is what I'm saying even making sense? Because I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, I think so. Like, you feel like he feels kind of lost, because he doesn't really feel any specific importance.
It's not important. He doesn't feel. He doesn't know who he is anymore, or what he stands for, and what Fairheart needs is a situation that'll make him, that'll force him, or that'll give him the opportunity to, like, Fairheart needs to cross a Rubicon, basically.
And that's why I have a fucking storyline laid out that I am following with you guys, and every time we take one step down that storyline, you get a wild fucking hair up your ass and you go 7 miles off course. Like, if you're wondering why the storyline is not progressing, look at Fairheart.
I feel like the storyline's progressing very well. I think that the challenge, another challenge with Fairheart, though, is because he experienced so much at the beginning of the campaign, and, like, we were talking about how he's, like, the star for a little bit more than would be ideal. Like, it's almost like Fairheart needs a break from the stardom where he's just like almost like an NPC, and then he gets another, like, moment to shine. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm having trouble verbalizing it. Like, Fairheart needs to calm down, just be a normal party member, go with the flow while occasionally making a stupid comment, but nothing that really matters. And then he needs to have an opportunity to either make the right choice or fade into irrelevance and die. Fairheart's pathway is unsustainable.
Very much so. No, Ski, it is actually not cold here at all. It has gotten a little chilly a couple of times, but I've wanted a cloak forever, and this is the first one I ordered, and until I get another one, I will continue fucking around with this one, even though I don't actually like it, because it's way too small.
When did you get your cloak?
A couple days ago.
I didn't know that. What's it made of?
Cotton.
Oh, okay. So it's a very light cloak, like a summer cloak?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's more like a fucking shawl. In fact, on New Year's, when it arrived New Year's Eve day.
Okay.
And by the fireside that night, as we were doing our festivities and whatnot, I was off gathering some firewood, and I'm like, I do not like it, Sam. I do not like this cloak shawl sham. I'm not impressed with it at all. I already told Rebecca, like, you can probably do something cool with this for an act or something like that, so I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to keep these cloak pins, because I know you've already got a bunch of brooches and shit like that, and they're not really your style anyways. Yeah, I'm basically... I'm excited to have it so that I can go out and get some fabric, and just know that I need double this size in every dimension.
That was my question. Like, how tall of a person is it made for?
Not.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of a perpetual problem for men like us?
You can barely hear. Okay, let me turn this up. I just don't want to be blowing people's speakers out. I mean, maybe with cloaks, like that, shopping cloaks is a new thing for me, so I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely difficult to get appropriately sized clothes sometimes. Especially because I'm, like, super tall and super thin. And so, like, I need, like, a 34 or 36 inseam, but a 32 or 33 waist.
Aren't you having trouble?
Finding upside down clothes like that is just so difficult.
Aren't you having trouble maintaining 170? You told me at some point.
No. I have trouble getting anywhere significantly above 170. 170 tends to be like my kind of settle point.
My settle point, and we're basically the same height, I think. My settle point since 6th grade has been like 250. Like, but I'm built like I'm just built wide.
Yeah, you're an ectomorph. I'm an endomorph.
Yeah.
Like the day I went to boot camp, I was 6'2" and 142 pounds.
God damn, you were underweight, weren't you?
Yeah, I actually had to get a waiver for my weight.
But did you have any like health problems tied to weight?
No, just super fast metabolism, and it like didn't matter what I ate, still doesn't matter what I eat. Like, I mean, when I was in Iraq, I did manage to get up to 200 pounds, and it was a good 200, but the reason I did is because I was in the gym 6 to 8 hours a day. I had the money to spend, so I was on fucking Nitrotech and Celltech. Like, I was doing, like, a dozen hard-boiled eggs a day. Like, so I know I can get there, but also I know how much work it takes to get there. I know what kind of diet it takes to get there, and I know that is not realistic if I'm paying for it. So
the funny thing with what you're saying is that like the food you're describing, like that 12 eggs a day thing, chicken breasts, I presume, bread, like a big steak, almost no carbs. If I do that, I'm gonna lose weight.
Yeah, 100% you will.
Like
and
I have.
So would I.
You would still? Oh, because you're not lifting. Okay. Yeah.
But also, I mean, if I didn't take in any carbs, I would absolutely lose weight.
Sorry, I need to write a message to Meredith. The furnace has a percentage on my phone because it's tied by Bluetooth. It has about 12% left. Sorry.
That sounds like a not good ratio of percentage left.
Oh no, it's actually really good. These filters by 3M for the furnace, instead of having to guess when they need to be changed, they actually have, like, you pay a little extra dollars, and they have a sensor in it, and it tells you when to change it.
Oh no, actually, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, actually, I'm at 26% remaining, sorry.
It's just when you said the furnace has 12% remaining, like, I didn't know you were talking about a filter. It sounded like you were talking about the equipment, and 12% is not a good number when you're talking about remaining.
I mean, I genuinely don't know what the furnace life is. It's probably, I mean, it will be, but we won't be living here. But, I mean, I would presume the furnace could last anywhere between 10 and 20 more years. As much as it could crap out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, like, under normal circumstances, though, you know.
Yeah, I'm not by any means an expert on how long furnaces can last. But, yeah, that's pretty much how electronics go. Oh, it could last 20 years. It could go tomorrow.
See, my furnace, though, is mostly mechanical. I mean, there is a slight component that's, that is, what you would call it, that is digital, like the thermostat, but the operation of the furnace is yeah, it's a mechanical furnace.
Cool.
The only thing that sucks about it is that if I lose electricity, I cannot easily turn it on manually. It needs electricity. Like that's one of the. I would do a whole podcast episode about this, about furnace design. The dumbest thing they ever did with furnaces is older furnaces up till about the 70s or 80s. You could either light them with the like internal electric thing, but if they didn't, you had like a little flue hole that you would flip open. You could turn off the gas, then kind of like a choke on a motor, then get some, like, yeah, and then like turn on the thing, then just put a match or like a long stick on fire in there, and you could blast it, and it would get the gas on. Now, in case the power went out. Now, if the gas went out again, you'd have to do it again, but you weren't dependent upon the fucking electricity. For safety reasons. But for safety reasons, they got rid of that. And I find that to be very dumb because, like, I'm telling you, dude, like that furnace thing, lighting it manually. I was like, we grew up with a triplex with 2 renters upstairs, right? And one of them was an old lady, and my grandfather had trouble getting on his knees at that age. I was lighting those furnaces at 7 or 8 years old for like $2. So, like, don't go and tell me it's unsafe, motherfuckers.
Well, those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not right either.
No, I mean, I am right. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. I'm not saying that it is safe. I'm just saying
yeah,
that just because you did it at 7 years old doesn't mean that it's not dangerous.
Yeah, very true. That is true.
What's this 31 days of free wax giveaways? Oh, it's over.
Was it the Maxi Lab Christmas thing?
It's hashtag Wax Hollandaise calendar.
I think that was the Maxi Lab one.
Oh, yeah, the event is organized by Maxi.
Yeah, I have nothing against Maxi Labs. Like, it's a fine project. The only thing that annoys me is that, like, we were corresponding about, like, my collection, or one of my collections being in it. And, like, this would have been me doing extra work, right? Like, Maxi Labs gets all the publicity, I don't care. It's just, like, I get annoyed when you're corresponding with someone for business and they just stop answering.
Right.
They like, ask you a bunch of questions and then they don't answer. It's like, that makes me not want to do business with you again.
Yeah.
And now that I'm heading into the more media-oriented element of Web3, that gives me a negative point of view of your project.
Amen. We need to definitely need to remove some warning labels and let the problem kind of sort itself out. There
I agree
are
with
far too many stupid people surviving.
Yeah, I very much agree with Simsky on that. I mean, you know, in nerfing, like, all these things, right, that we used to do, like, especially as kids, especially as young men who have these, like, weird social expectations imposed upon us, that whole Fight Club narrative of raising, like, a generation of pussies, however they put it, is not entirely wrong. It's like, I know dudes who can't change a fucking light bulb. That's really distressing to me.
Yeah. Although, you could actually change the word dudes there with people, because that is really not a gender-specific thing. Like, you should be able to change a fucking light bulb. No matter who you are.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm saying dudes because when I was in my first apartment during my PhD, I had the maintenance guy come out for like a complete furnace HVAC meltdown. And I'm like, and it turned out to be like a relatively simple switch thing that I could have figured out if I knew anything about HVAC, but it was the first time I had it. I kind of apologized to the guy. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry I brought you out here for this. Like, I probably should have looked it up and I probably could have figured it out. Like, it was a genuine apology. Like, I was kind of sort of sorry, even though it was his job. It's just like, I brought him out for nothing. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. There are girls. And he said, he was emphasizing women. I'm not trying to stereotype. It was him who, like, bring me out to change a light bulb. Like, I'm used to this shit. I'm just like, okay, how do you reach college age without learning how to change a light bulb?
How many college kids does it take to change a light bulb? We'll never know. They can't get it done.
It's like, I had some when I was teaching at Ohio State, I had some very good students, and I had some very, very bad students.
And I bet that ratio was abysmal.
Well, no, because the very, very bad students, like, you have a ton of mediocre students, right?
Yeah.
And you have a few really good ones, but then you have, like, that 10% of people that are just like, how did they even get through grade school kind of stupid?
Yeah.
Or not trying, or whatever
the willful stupidity.
Yeah, the willful stupidity. And that shit got to me, dude. Like, but the difference really is like whether they know how to think or not, was my experience. And a lot of fucking kids just don't know how, like, we're literally never taught how to think. And I know that sounds weird, but it is a thing. Like, you need to learn how to think.
And I think that is the primary failure of today's school system, is that it does not teach you how to think, and it does not teach you how to learn.
It teaches you how to learn in a very technical way.
No, it teaches you how to memorize, not how to learn.
No, you're right. Actually, that's a very fair way of putting it. Yeah, I agree with you completely. It definitely teaches you how to memorize, and that is far from ideal. I would say that what we're experiencing, though, is like, in educational theory, they call it kind of like the technocratic shift, if that even makes sense. Like, we're not training thinkers anymore. We're training implementers.
Yeah.
Like, even the whole AI prompt engineer job, which is kind of a fucking joke to me. Like, these people are not doing anything. Yeah. It's not that they're not doing anything meaningful. It's that they're not doing anything novel. And this is not a personal attack on them. It's an attack on the system, because the system has normalized that kind of implementer mentality. Thank you. And it's just getting worse and worse as time goes on.
Yeah.
Frankly.
And then, of course, there are more and more tools being developed, which just, lead that into a self-fulfilling loop.
Yeah. It's pretty disquieting. I mean, like, I could not imagine teaching at university now. Considering the way it was then, it can only have gotten worse.
Yeah.
And plus you have all this woke bullshit now. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for
people equally, regardless of whatever specifics might apply to them.
Yeah, I'm all for treating people, like, with decency. Everyone's the same, everyone's equal, till they're not. Yeah. And to not be equal, like, you have to do pretty shitty, horrible things.
All people fucking suck. Every single goddamn one of us. Stop acting like somebody's worse just because of the color of their skin, or the name of the invisible and non-existent man that they pray to, or fucking whose fucking ass they're trying to get up in.
The people who are worse because when I think about it, and who's worse, it's the people who are worse are the people who are cognizant of their fact that they're being shitheads and are borderline proud of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like Andrew Tate is a good example.
Yeah. A very good example. But I mean,
Alex Jones.
See, Alex Jones, like, he's a prick. Don't get me wrong. Am I conspiratorially minded? Part of me still wonders whether Alex Jones is legitimately doing this shit as a crazy, like, opportunistic fuck, whether he's some type of government agent, or whether he, how can I put this? Whether he's doing, like, performance art. I'm not 100% convinced that, yeah.
I think he took the red pill as a suppository.
I'm going through my old AI generations that I was supposed to sort through, and I'm going to be making some very bad taste AIs, putting them up tonight in some of the sub collections.
Like I'm still stuck on what you were saying, and because does it really matter?
If Alex Jones
if you're doing it as a government agent,
yeah,
that does not absolve you of any of the blame for your actions. All it means is that there is a bigger asshole who's telling you what to do.
I would actually say if you're a government agent, it makes it worse. Yeah. Because you're willfully and cognizantly doing it. What I'm trying to say is that I want to understand the why. And I don't, because it's not rational.
It's not.
It's not even close to rational.
It's not, and that's why I think it's pointless to even desire to understand the why, because even if you could have an actual lucid conversation with a madman.
Sure, I can have a lucid conversation with Alex Jones, though.
But you still wouldn't get anywhere.
I'm not convinced of that. I don't know if you experience this, but like when I go out in public, strangers, I don't know why, but I like attract weird strangers. And like people, like crazy-ish people, just start talking to me. Probably has something to do with how I look and how I act.
Probably.
And I often feel like I'm able to like calm them down. I told you that incident with the autistic kid that one time, right?
Maybe.
There was a non-verbal autistic kid who was trying to hurt himself, breaking windows near my house in Montreal, and I first I physically subdued him to stop him from harming himself, and I then proceeded to just I just started talking to him, and he was non-verbal, but I calmed him down to the point where like he was like back to baseline, and like people in the neighborhood started calling me like they were joking about it, calling me like the autism whisperer and all kinds of like kind of uncouth things like that, but like I feel like I'm more reasonable in dealing with other people's craziness than I am with my own. If that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, that makes all of this sense. It's because you have this little tiny thing called empathy.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I think I have too much empathy, but
yeah, me too. That's why I haven't started killing people yet.
But the paradox, though, is once I turn, like once I lose that empathy, like
then it's fucking gone, and you could be like once I have written you off, the only reason why I wouldn't piss on you is if you were on fire.
Exactly. I can be very extreme and I'm aware of this, and it's not sometimes it's a very productive thing, but most of the time it's not. Let's be real.
Tell me more about how you have made this productive, because that is a lesson that I need.
How I've made being extreme productive?
Yeah.
Well, it's allowed me to genuinely cut very, very toxic people out of my life. And the thing is, like, I guess I have to say that, like, when it comes to that toxicity, one of the problems I used to have is that I would continue engaging because I wanted to win, quote unquote. But then at a certain age, and this is recent, maybe in the last year, I realized that there was no winning in these kinds of situations. And truthfully, I do occasionally, in spite of myself, take a cheap shot. But I do everything I can to avoid it, and it's not nearly as bad as it was, like, in the day. Like, in the day, like, getting into arguments about politics on Facebook when I still had it. Dumb fucking shit like that. I managed to, like, if you're cut off, you're cut off. And I'll take a dump on you occasionally, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. I guess is the best way to put it. If it comes up contextually, I won't censor myself, but I won't, like, I don't aggro anymore.
Huh. Speaking of people that have been written off.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize. But, yeah, if we're speaking contextually, though, and there is an issue, I will still 100% go thermonuclear. Like, if I've been crossed, there ain't no coming back, motherfucker. Like, I was like, I'm in the process of building Prime Yacht Media. I'm in the process of, like, trying to, I'm always in the process of trying to be a better human being, etc. I've been kind of writing down the rules for the business. Like, you're in here. Well, you're on your way in. And, we have our corporate social responsibility policy, stuff like that, like the official kind of corporate thing. But I was trying to, like, write down some personal rules for myself, like things that I want to do better. And one of them is, like, how, like, frequently we talk about the 3 strikes you're out thing?
Uh-huh.
That's bullshit. I think the right way to do it is everyone gets 1 second chance. And after that, fuck it. But I want to try to live by that motto that everyone gets 1 second chance. And I want to implement that in relation to the business. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but, like, it's an idea that I have, and in my head it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference between that and 3 strikes is the number of, or the amount of recidivism, as it were. Like,
but let's
3
be
strikes
real.
is just 2 second chances.
In my 38 years on this planet, if someone's a shitbird, and, I admitted to you that I was recently wrong about a first impression that I had about someone, and let's not get into that on stream. But you remember I told you, I think I'm wrong? Yeah, okay. Like, I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And like, I also understood that initial reaction. Like, yeah, it happens. But you're right that generally someone who offends twice is more likely than not going to offend the third time, which makes, the third strikes superfluous.
And I also have very, how should I say, particular, you, me, Steve, we all have kind of very particular senses of humor.
Yeah.
I would say. So, like, our definition of what's fucked is not necessarily the mainstream definition, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm trying to change my, like, approach to social norms or anything like that. I'm still, like, I'm not gonna, if you're a believer in Jesus, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna shit on you for being a Christ follower or whatever you are. Like, I'm not gonna judge your religion, but at the point where your religion impinges with my freedom, God, Meredith, this is so dumb. Don't say this. Meredith I can't read. She doesn't like when I read her text. Anyway, what I'm saying is I'm trying to be more open to like the characteristics, but to then like make my judgment based on the behavior. Like someone can be like I don't know, a conservative, whatever the fuck, and still be a decent human being.
Yeah, no, I know plenty of them. You can still be a good Christian, or you can still be a Christian and be a good human.
A lot of Christians are good people. That's the thing.
Most of them are honestly better people than most people.
I don't know if I'd say that. I'd say most of them are like equal to most people.
No, I would say because number one, I mean, and this is the best thing that I can say about organized religion, but you have that sense of community.
Yeah.
And it is an actively positive community.
I mean, even if it's diluted, it's like, yeah, but I would also say that
diluted, yes, but it is an actively positive community that is also trying to not only encourage you to be and do your best, but also trying to actively provide any form of assistance that might be required, which means that rate of success is going to be significantly higher.
That's a very fair point, actually. What I would say, though, is that I think, and I mean, you know, we're coming at this from like the agnostic, atheist, secular, humanist point of view. I try to do good. I hope I do more than I do bad, but I would say that the average Christian is as good as the average Muslim.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, versus, like, the average person, the sum total average of all people. Those
are you saying the average
faith and are part of their community are going to tend to be, you know, a step above. It's not huge, but it's not nothing.
Agreed. So kind of as opposed to like a political Christian, a biblical conservative kind of thing, right?
Yes, because then you're the self-serving and the desire to inflict one's whim upon others is a much more significant step in the other direction.
So applied to Judaism, it's kind of like differentiating between practicing Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox Jews versus like hardcore Zionists kind of thing.
When you start getting into that kind of granular breakdown, I'm no longer necessarily following exactly what you're talking about. Like, I know that the Zionists are the ones who are super, you know, supporting Israel with everything that they're doing right now. And that a lot of Jews, whether Orthodox or otherwise, are saying, hey, we might be, you know, Jewish by faith, but that does not mean that we support what's going on in Israel. Like, I get that division, but as far as like,
I was just making the broad point that like people don't know this and would be surprised to know that a lot of the ultra Orthodox Jews, like the most conservative ones, are anti-Zionist. And believe in like the right for existence of a Palestinian state, because their own like view of the old scripture is that Israel is not entitled to this land. That the Israeli people are the Jewish people are people who are in exile, and that their land will come at the end time. Now, I don't know enough about that faith to comment on the theology of it. I just think it's interesting that they've kind of abandoned the political wing of Judaism, aka Zionism, in spite of the fact that they're arguably the most devout Jews.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've always kind of found funny about the entire thing is you really got three separate entities here. You have Jews, as in those who are practicing the religion. You have Hebrews, as in those who were born of a specific bloodline. And then you have Israel, the war crime state.
Yes. And I mean, let's not forget about Hamas. Let's be real. Like, terrorist organizations in the occupied territories are
yeah,
not.
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, I know you're not saying that. I'm doing the caveat.
Yeah, of course. And of course, I'm not saying that, this the travesty that is going on in Palestine was entirely unprovoked. I mean, I do remember that, Hamas launched that attack. Like, I'm not saying that Israel just, got up and decided to invade Poland.
Right. The interesting thing, though, is with Hamas, is don't forget, Hamas is the legitimate. They were elected in the last election held in Gaza as the legitimate leaders.
Yes, however, that last election was how long ago? And they have not allowed another legitimate election to happen since?
I was about to say that. But at the same time, they probably would win.
I don't think that's the case anymore. Most Palestinians are now anti-Hamas because they see what Hamas is actually doing. Like, they won because they said they were turning over a new leaf. They said that they were going to do things right. And so they were given a chance. And then they've proven those words to be demonstrably false time and time again ever since. And now most people want them out. They just haven't had a chance to do anything about it.
At the very same time, however, Hamas was very, very effective in terms of delivering basic social services that the Palestinian Authority, which rules in the West Bank, and other previous Palestinian governments have not been capable of delivering. And I find that to be super interesting, in as much as it kind of points to, like, how can I put this? The quixotic nature of Palestinian politics. But ultimate point being is that, like, Hamas did some things right in the time it governed Gaza.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just as nobody is perfectly good, no group of people is perfectly good, no person is perfectly evil, and no group of people is perfectly evil.
Yeah, 100%. I concur entirely.
And yes, Ski, nothing has changed, and nothing will change, because humans are not yet extinct.
Yeah, one of the funny things is that we talk about the need for a two-state solution in Israel-Palestine. We don't need a two-state solution. We need a one-state solution.
No, we need a zero-state solution.
Well, that would work too. But a one-state solution in which Palestinians just have equal rights, and as Simsky says, where we don't mix politics and religion. Israel is a theocracy, the same way that Saudi Arabia is a theocracy, or that Egypt is sort of the theocracy right now. And that's kind of the biggest threat. I mean, Israel, despite being classified as the only democracy in the Middle East, which Turkey would object to, Israel is not a democracy. A theocracy cannot be a democracy. Are you familiar with the right of return in Jewish whatever the fuck it is?
No.
If you're born Jewish, which means your maternal bloodline has to be Jewish, you have the inherent right to Israeli citizenship. In fact, they consider you to be a citizen who has the right to return, even if you've never been, at any time.
Wait, only if you're. It's the maternal side though, not paternal. Even if it's DNA proven, or because I do understand why that differentiation would have been made.
It has to be maternal. Now that's not to say you can't convert. I don't know about the technicalities of that, but the girl I dated throughout college and into my first year of my PhD was Jewish through her dad, but was not Jewish. She was Catholic, even though her dad was Jewish, because her mother was Catholic. The same way, the same way I'm Catholic. Like, everyone in Quebec is Catholic. If you live in Quebec, you're Catholic.
And again, no, that's not how it fucking works.
I'm not saying we're like Catholics. We're Catholics. Like, culturally, we're Catholics.
No, but I get that. The culture is Catholic. You're not a fucking Catholic. If you're not going to mass, if you're not, actually let's fucking
I
hit
think
the
you're
nail
wrong.
on the head. If you are not worshiping Jesus still on the crucifix, you're not a fucking Catholic.
According to the priest who buried my grandfather, whom I never confess I don't go to church, but at my grandfather's funeral I did, because I was, very emotional. I did confession and all that. It's pretty chill, actually. I was not molested. I guess I wasn't attractive enough. He gave me a Bible, and he told me that if you're confirmed, and I am, you're a Catholic. You're just a Catholic who's living in mortal sin, technically, based on canon law.
Yeah, well, I do not have much of any experience with Catholicism. But that's not in the fucking Bible. I am very experienced with the Bible.
Yes, you are. Simsky says, I was not molested. That's 0.001%. Yeah, I know, Simsky. It's a Jimmy Carr joke that I was redoing badly.
I knew I'd heard it somewhere. I would never have put that as a Carter reference, but I knew I'd heard it.
No, not
I just
Jimmy
wasn't
Carter.
going to call you out.
Jimmy Carr.
Oh.
Like the really offensive comedian.
Okay.
My favorite comedian. The joke is the priest didn't molest me because I was not attractive enough.
Yeah, no, like I said, I knew I'd heard it somewhere.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty funny joke.
I'd have to say my favorite comedian was probably Carlin.
No, yeah. Yeah. Or Pryor.
I also enjoy Richard Pryor, but I don't know him nearly as well as I know Carlin, so it's a very easy call for me.
And I know Carlin pretty well, and I know Pryor pretty well. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not an affirmative action thing, but Pryor brought like a unique perspective because he was black. Yeah.
I also, he was just so much more before my time.
That's true, but I fall asleep watching to. Now he needs to hear this Jimmy Carr guy. I'll drop him a link of Jimmy Carr's. Jimmy Carr does his bit. Let me drop it in the chat. Jimmy Carr's most offensive joke. I mean, Ski, I don't know if you're sensitive or not to this stuff, but it's very offensive. I'm offended by this joke. I find it hilarious, but I'm offended by it. I'll drop it in the stream chat here. Twitch.tv. You're on my other computer, don't worry. You do have my viewing. Now you have my viewing under 2 accounts. There we go. There we go. I just dropped it in the chat for Simsky. Oh, Simsky's all about freedom of expression. There we go. Me too.
Exactly.
I used to be a free speech absolutist, but I've kind of changed my mind on hate speech and incitement. I mean, I used to think that it would get shot down by the marketplace of ideas, and that was my perspective on hate speech.
And then Facebook took over the world, and you learned how wrong you were about that. Don't feel bad. So did I.
It wasn't even necessarily Facebook. It was just like, I don't know, dude. Like some of the things I've seen, it's just like the marketplace of ideas does not work, unfortunately. It does not do what you hope it'll do. And that's a damn shame. But it is what it is, right? Like, we can't change it, so. No use whining or crying over spilled milk or whatever the expression is.
What's that got to do with crying over the price of spilled milk in Asia?
Very fair. Simsky's a good dude. I like Simsky. He was one of my favorite. He was one of my favorite moderators. Him and what's her face? I can't remember her name. Not Mama. Well, I mean, Mama Muffin's fine too, but is Azar Cyrus? What's her name? I think it was Azar Cyrus. Very, very cool lady. good people all around.
Oh shit! You know what I just realized?
Definitely, yes, has something to do with the time.
Yeah, I have an interview in like 11 hours.
Yeah. Speaking of interviews, I need to. I want to start doing this thing. I don't know if you're open to it, but on Prime Out Media, getting started relatively soon. I mean, Prime Out Media is gonna have a ton of interviews, and I hope you'll be a regular guest. Well, I mean, we already talked about contribute. I have things to talk to you about at some point, but I want to do I want to do a series with creators, like creators of world. I want to do like an interview session about Galil, like just about Galil. I don't know if you'd want to do that.
Yeah, it sounds fucking awesome.
You'd probably be the first guest, so we'd be prototyping the program. It'd be kind of like World Building Wednesdays, but we're talking about the entire world that you've built.
Yeah, I think it would definitely have to be a little bit more structured than pretty much anything that I do.
Oh no, it's completely structured. I already have the idea for the structure in my mind.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I mean, we also have that other program coming, How I Coded With, or we're going to interview a dev, and then they're going to teach us how to code something live on air. I have a few very cool guests lined up for that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have the first referrals set up and ready to rock. Everything looks good for an end of January, mid-January launch, as planned. Although I did tell you that I was scaling it back from an initial launch of. Yeah. The initial launch was supposed to be 10 sites. Now it's going to be 5 to 7. Because we're not implementing MySQL until Q2. Well, the original plan was to implement MySQL in Q1, but yeah, there are various reasons for that. But man, I can't wait to start writing reviews.
What is your first review gonna be?
I don't know yet. I'm picking between. It's interesting because so few people do like reviews of wax games that like rank highly in the algo. So these reviews have the potential to be influential-ish, and I don't want to just shit on projects because most projects on wax are shit. I want to have a more educational focus, so I need to think about that.
It's not about telling people that it's shit. It's about telling people why it's shit.
I know, but I mean, why it's shit is generally because it has a shit coin. And it's a security in hiding. That's generally why it's shit. Like, or that it's not a game, or that play to earn is a myth. The only thing that exists in play to earn is get in early enough to flip your shit to someone more gullible than you, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I made a meme about that one. I think you would like it.
Hey, you know what? You know about memes? You know how I'm using I have 4 Kanbans up in my office now? On one of my my blue Post-its, it says, make plan for Hive, and it's connected to another Post-it that says, maintain involvement on peak D. And that's in my pile of Post-its for the week.
Nice. Well, you should go ahead and get a jump start on that by going to the Mountain Memes community right now.
I could potentially even do that. I need to get an account code off Holozor to make a Prime Yacht Media account on... Oh, I should message him.
You don't need a...
No, it's easier. It's better to do it with his code. Like, he has those account codes.
How is it better to do it with that, though? Why does it matter?
I think you get resources, don't you?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Pretty sure you did. I don't know. But I'm going there now to Pete. How does this even work? I haven't been in here in so long. Because, it's funny, because that's, like, one of the only legitimate money-making things. Like, making money from posting memes is pretty fun. It's not much money, but... Like, I'm upvoting all your memes right now. Remember dragons? He's in Gaza. But you do know that one of the spaces that are launching is meme.space, right? I think I told you this.
Memes.space?
Meme. M-E-M-E-D.
Oh, memed.space. Now,
And basically it's just going to be a daily roundup of, like, the hottest memes.
well, hopefully they'll figure out that mountain memes exist and pull some of mine once in a while. So I just sent you a code or a link to where you can sign up for free, and then you can just delete the automatic payment made to Rick on the Mountain.
No, I'm happy to pay it forward to Rick on the Mountain. I didn't know that. I thought that this was only a thing that you could use sometimes.
No, I mean, it's, as far as I know, it works all the time.
Oh. I cannot say I knew this.
I mean, I didn't know it until I fucking found the link in the TerraCore white paper. So, like, I went far too long without knowing it myself.
Hmm. Oh, that's dope. What's the VIP ticket thing, though?
That's probably what Steve has.
Let's see. So, I'm gonna copy this to the clipboard. So these are the keys for save to OneDrive Personal Prime Yacht. 5 keys. Got to print that and put it in the safe. Because I can get Hive Power here deducted. Sorry, I need to send another message to Meredith. Discard. It's clearly not working. To be honest with you, the furnace filter is not associated at all with the humidifier. The humidifier affects the air after it's passed through the filter. Ergo, the air has already been filtered when the humidifier affects it. You can look at the physical layout of the furnace and you will see it for yourself. I do agree that that is a problem and we need to find a solution. I will Google as to whether it is possible to completely turn off the humidifier. Seems like it's more of a pain than it's worth. But it is unrelated to the filter, I am sorry to say. She thought that she thinks that the filter, like, we have a humidifier in our house because Calgary's really dry, and she thought pretty reasonably that, like, one of the reasons our Windows was fogging up was that, like, the filter was no good, but it ain't the filter. Like, the filter is the first thing the air hits when it comes in. Then it hits the humidifier and distributes humidity.
Yeah, I would say it's probably because you are adding humidity to warm air, which is then touching cold glass.
Yep. No, I know the physics of it. I'm just, she keeps trying to find new solutions to the problem, and I'm like, well, I hate to say it, but the humidifier, which we've never had before, is tied to the central HVAC, and it doesn't have an off switch. And when you turn it down to 0, it's still generates humidity. It's very badly designed. Insincere New Year's messages, my favorite thing. Alright, I need to make a meme for the meme community. Oh, this... I picked the first template and it worked. So what do? I go to the meme community, where I'm a mod, write a post. Everything sucks.
How you like them numbers that you're seeing there, though?
What are the numbers?
Most recent post is 365, 11T7.
Damn, boy. Check out the one I just posted.
I've been constantly refreshing, waiting for it to show up. Here we go. Ha!
That's pretty fucking dark, ain't it?
Yep.
And I don't mean the kid.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there.
I mean, like, there is a joke to be made there, to be fair, but...
Yeah, no, definitely is. But Steven also already made it in the Whisper Whispers chat.
Oh, did he? Okay. Oh, I should find a priest meme generator. Here, I'm gonna go on a roll here.
Oh, yeah. Spam the shit out of my community. Ski, you should hop up in here, too.
I'm waiting for the 5-minute timer to post my next one. It's even worse than this one. / better, depending on your perspective.
Right.
Man, I've been doing so much work. It's fucking insane. Like, I've been so productive. It's like... It's coming...
He said, hey, if you're going to be highly inappropriate in your humor, you might as well go all out. Or at least almost all out.
I mean, there are limits. Like, if I was a stand-up, or if I was... like, my limit in terms of jokes is discrimination on the basis of something that I'm not. Like, I won't make fun of, like, something that I am not, basically.
Yeah, I'll make fun of white, I'll make fun of Canadian, I'll make fun of tall, I'll make fun of stupid, I'll make fun of clumsy.
I mean, I will make fun of short people. That's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but that is, as they say, can't reach the low-hanging fruit.
Can't get laid is more their problem. Sit-down comics have less leeway than stand-up. He's right. Except, some people don't really care about being canceled is the thing.
And others are actively pursuing it.
I'm not actively pursuing cancellation. I'm agnostic to it. Like, if I was to be canceled, it would actually be a source of power. I think more people should strive to be canceled. I think don't think that it's via like like pulling a Harvey Weinstein or pulling a Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that. But I think that the world needs more. And this is gonna sound fucking weird, but the world needs more earnest bad taste in jest and less abuse.
Yeah, okay.
Like, let's make fun of shit. Like, I don't really give a fuck if someone's feelings are hurt.
Yeah, the world as a whole definitely does need to learn to take a fucking joke.
Yeah. But then we get into people purposefully being malicious without humor. That's the line for me, personally. I know the line is different for everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of like the shit that you can't joke about. I don't really think that there's anything that's just flat out off limits. There's just, the farther afield you go, the more risque the topic, the higher the bar is. Because I think that there is nothing that is off limits to a truly funny joke. It's just
Agreed.
that the farther out you go, the funnier it has to be in order to be funny and not just distasteful.
At the same time, though, like, I could make a funny joke about African Americans, but I would never say the N-word and in a joke, and as such, my joke would be less funny than if a black person was saying it. Did I just say something very controversial?
No, yes, maybe.
I don't
Like,
care.
I agree with the point that you're making, although I think it would have less to do with the skin color than the actual word.
It's all about the word, because the word is just... If you
yes,
hear...
but if it was, say, a Hispanic...
And the S word, are you talking about?
No, and the N word.
Okay.
Or even, like... I got a white friend who, he's Argentinian, and he's a rapper. And so it is, a very common part of his vocabulary.
Oof, I don't like that.
I don't either, but if he told that same joke, because he would use that word, it would still be that, that much funnier because the correct word was used.
I'm trying to understand, but I'm not sure I do. What I'm saying is that it makes the joke, the use of the word would in many cases make the joke funnier because the word is inherently provocative.
Absolutely. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, so...
It's like getting a...
The thing that I'm disagreeing with is that you said that it would be inherently funnier if a black person told the joke. And I was it's not because a black person told the joke. It's because the black person is saying that word that you're not saying, and it is that word that makes it funnier, not the skin color of the person telling it.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, I just said it wrong. Okay, yeah, we're saying the same thing. It's about the shock value of the word that kind of adds.
And sometimes it's not even necessarily the shock value, just that. I mean, words have a flow to them, and when you substitute words, it breaks that flow.
Agreed.
It's like Eminem does not say that word in any of his songs, but if you were to trade any other word into that word, it's not going to make him better.
Like Jigga?
No, he doesn't say anything like that either. Like, but
no,
I mean,
I've heard people say Jigga.
Well, yeah, but
I'm trying to understand. Like,
Jay-Z is Jigga.
He doesn't say the N-word? Jay-Z?
No, I mean Jay-Z. Like, that's actually one of his like registered nicknames is Jigga.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, I know I've heard like shitty rappers replace the N-word with Jigga.
Yeah, I Yeah, it's weird because like, it's just a big pimpin' in NYC. It's just a Jigga Man, Pimp C and BUMB. Like he is actually referring to himself there when he says Jigga Man, and not like as okay, it's the N word but with a J. No, he's Jigga. Like
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. There's a bunch of other songs where he calls himself Jigga. Like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. See, I haven't used that word. Like the only context in which I've knowledgeably used that word, like, how could I even phrase this? In a setting of public, have been like academic settings where like it was literally being discussed, and even then I was kind of hesitant to say it. But I have to say that like if I'm at home and I'm singing "Shame on a Bit Who Likes to Run Game on a but with the I can't even sing the song on air. But if I'm at home, I'll probably just sing the fucking song. Do you know what song I'm referring to?
I do, and
Yeah.
I kind of identify with what you're saying, although for the most part I tend to stay away from those songs, although you've heard me do this before. One that I absolutely love to do karaoke is X Gon' Give It To You.
Yep, no, I know. Yep.
And you can't not say it there. You can't just skip it.
I would just not be able to do that song personally.
I got around it by I just replace it with Ricka.
Yeah, I know, and it worked. But
it worked. But then you also
Ricka,
have songs like "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangsta."
Yeah.
Ricka will not work in that song.
No.
And so it's a choice of just don't do it or just take the risk.
Uh-huh.
And I don't do it often, but when I do, I take the risk.
Yeah, fair. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, the thing with like
have a good night, Ski. Thanks for hanging.
Have a good night, Simski. The thing is that song, like "Shame on a Who Likes to Run Game on a but with the trigger," is like the problem is it's always stuck in my head.
Yeah, I can understand that.
To one degree,
and actually, with Ski heading out, I'm gonna go ahead and say, as long as you were wearing a black cloak and not a white one, and there's no point on the head, right? Thank y'all for hanging out. As always, I've been Rick. You've been on the mountain, and it has been a wonderful time. We will be back in 11 hours. 10 hours. No, 11 hours, because we're giving her an extra hour because she's in Australia. So we will be back on in 11 hours with our friend Sharn from Australia for an off-the-cuff interview. And we will be back on this evening in 17 hours for the Tudor Saga, Episode 7. In the meanwhile, thanks again. And always remember, keep kicking ass, because you are fucking awesome.